Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight on Holmes Knows, new information surfaces about the summer break-in at the Democratic National Committee building. A case everyone thought was solved turns out to be a sinking ship for the former president, Richard Nixon. As the years progress, more and more information and details of the Watergate scandal continue to float to the surface. First, we learned, during the initial trial of Gordon Liddy and James McCord, that while witnesses for the trial were being interviewed by the FBI, John Dean, part of the White House counsel, sat in and listened to the testimonies before they were heard in court. We learned this during the trial because the director of the FBI said it under oath. Now, since that didn't seem to raise enough hairs about the truth, in March of 1973, McCord wrote a letter to Judge Sirica claiming that his testimony and plea were both perjured. This claim led to further investigation and even a special prosecution's office that strictly handled the Watergate fiasco. The former president himself put them together, only to turn around and demand to abandon the whole thing. Yesterday, John Mitchell, Bob Haldeman, and John Ehrlichman were found guilty of criminal conspiracy after creating, carrying, and covering up the plan to bug the Democratic Party during the election. This seems to be the end of the Watergate scandal for now, but as always, I'll keep you updated. I'm your host, Brynna E. Not so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Holmes Knows. The infamous trial of the fugitive Ted Bundy has officially come to an end. Estimated to have started killing in 1974, Bundy was first arrested in August of 1975 for running a stop sign. While in custody, the police matched him to a description that was given by a girl who escaped her kidnapper. After she picked him out of a lineup, he was put on trial for the first time on February 23, 1976, and convicted of kidnapping in the first degree. While in jail awaiting his sentencing, he was extradited to Colorado after the detective tied him to an open murder investigation of Carol Campbell and was held without bail. After hearing the pre-sentencing for the trial, Bundy jumped out of a second-story window of the Aspen courthouse and was on the run for 6 days. They put him in the Garfield County Jail in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. He managed to escape once again by cutting the light out of his jail ceiling and climbing through the ceiling. During this time, he made his way to Florida. Coincidentally, the Chi Omega sorority house experienced a night of terror while he was in town. 2 of the young women were bludgeoned to death and 3 others brutally beaten. Yet again, Bundy was pulled over after an officer recognized his car as stolen, and given the fact that he was a fugitive, he was taken into custody and eventually tied to the Chi Omega crimes. After a public reading of the indictment, the trial started June 25th and ended 2 days ago, with the verdict being decided in only 7 hours, finding him guilty on all counts. The trial was interesting, involving a marriage between Ted and Carol Boone, Bundy firing his attorneys and representing himself, and Carol Boone being pregnant. Ted will receive the death penalty for his crimes, and the fear that consumed young women across America can subside. That's all for now. Talk to you later. Your host, Brynna E. Good afternoon, folks. Today marks the launch of a new medical campaign, America Responds to AIDS. The ARTA campaign's mission is to inform America about the AIDS epidemic. The CDC finds it necessary to educate the country on the matter given the fear that surrounds the disease. When Surgeon General C. Everett Koop issued his report last year, he debunked theories of how the disease is transmitted and added valuable precautions the average Joe or Jane could take in order to lessen the chance of contracting the disease and slowing the spread. HIV blood testing has been found extremely beneficial in the fight against AIDS by helping doctors find out for patients that are diagnosed, but also to prevent using HIV blood and transfusions, stopping the spread. New research and medical advancements will slowly but surely help put this epidemic behind the U.S. Now to Jerry, the weatherman. Welcome back. I'm fashionably late to the party as always, but yesterday an East German government official, Gunter Schabowski, announced that the gates of the Berlin Wall will be open for anyone to pass through. After 28 years, the border separating the Allies, West Germany, from the Soviet Union, East Germany, has finally fallen. At 11 p.m., the first gates were unblocked, and in a matter of 30 minutes, all terminals were opened for business. An estimated 5,000 people successfully got over the wall by climbing over the barrier wire or jumping out of windows from adjacent buildings. During the time the wall was up, sadly, 171 people are reported to have died in their efforts to do just that. The wall may not be completely gone, but the freedom is definitely there. There were thousands of people gathered on the west side to welcome the people crossing over. It has been reported that some of the East Germans have been issued a one-way pass crossing over, allowing them to enter West Germany but to never return to their homeland. Hopefully, in the years to come, we will see the demolition of the wretched wall. This is also good news for America, given the actions help push the Cold War closer to its end. More updates on the wall will continue to be aired throughout the week. Tune in next time for That One Show. At this time, we will be transferring you to our friends across the pond for some heartbreaking news. Hello. Early in the hours of this morning, the beloved Princess Diana of Wales passed away due to injuries sustained in a tragic automobile accident. The accident occurred in Paris, France, inside the Pont des Alma tunnel. Our country is still in shock at the life that was lost. She would leave behind 2 sons, William, 15, and Harry, 13. She was an amazing mother, daughter, sister, and woman. Her contributions to society and the monarchy will be greatly missed. Her driver, Henry Paul, and her friend, Dodie Fade, were also casualties in this devastating catastrophe. Back to you, Brynna. Alright, well, we will cut to commercial break and be right back in just a few. Hang tight. Welcome back to the Daily Bugle. President Bill Clinton faces impeachment after he was found to have lied on the stand during the lawsuit against him back in May of 1997. Paula Jones went looking for an apology for sexual harassment from the president, and in the process, her lawyers dug up more names to add to the suit as evidence against the president. On this list, Monica Lewinsky's name popped up, an intern at the White House. She was called to testify in the lawsuit, Jones versus Clinton, but was able to get immunity before being called on. The president, on the other hand, was not so fortunate. A former employee of the West Wing, Linda Tripp, had befriended Miss Lewinsky while she was working at the Department of Defense. She claims to have evidence that the president did in fact lie about being in a relationship with Miss Lewinsky. The president, when asked if he had lied, said he technically didn't, he just didn't have the same definitions of certain words or phrases as the lawyers of Paula Jones did. Last week, a 453-page summary of the evidence against Clinton was leaked on the internet, and as of today, the White House is still dead silent. We will let you know of any more juicy secrets that the administration is keeping. Tune in next time.